The name Disney is synonymous with clean, family-friendly entertainment, evoking images of colorful characters and smiling children. But there's more to the House of Mouse than meets the eye. Most are familiar with the notorious mind control program known as MKUltra, which later evolved into Project Monarch. But what is less known is the alleged role Disney movies and parks play in this nefarious program. Not only is Disney programming a staple of Monarch mind control, some victims even report being taken to Disney parks for programming.
Walt Disney. There are lots of different tales about Walt Disney and why he started Disney in the way that he did. But Walt Disney was involved with a type of Freemason when he was younger. And there's lots of different controversy about it. So he knows all about symbology and things like that. And when you look at the Disney movies, there are symbols in those movies of sex. I'm talking fully naked women. I'm talking penises. There are boobs. There is the word sex written over and over and over again. You can go online, you can search for this, you can just type in Dark Side of Disney. There are so many pictures, screenshots of these. There is, for example, in The Little Mermaid, there is a scene where they get married and the priest has an erection. Clear as day, there it is, big erection. It's actually insane. And there's so many other things. But aside from the symbology, I want to talk a little bit about the actual stories. My favorite two Disney movies growing up were Aladdin and Lion King. I know those two inside out, so I'll refer to those two. But I invite you to look at every Disney movie that you know, like really look at them. What is the story? What is the moral? What are they actually teaching your children? Let's look at Aladdin. I never thought about this before this week. Aladdin is a tale of an orphan. Don't most Disney movies have orphans or kids who've been abused or kids who are treated badly by their parents? There's always some kind of trauma, right? Or so often there's some kind of trauma there. It's very interesting. And when you look at where these stories come from, a lot of Disney movies are inspired by occult classics, things like the Brothers Grimm tales, and that's those tales are very, very dark, and then they got adapted, turned into kids movies, but the themes are still very dark and the symbology is very dark. So Aladdin, this orphan, can't afford to eat, really struggling, people bully him, he has to steal to survive. That's what's going into your kids' minds. People don't like to help homeless people, they have to steal, right? They have to become criminals, so that's that. Princess Jasmine is literally locked in her mansion, locked in her palace. She's not allowed to leave. Her dad forces her, right? Like arranged marriages. Even though she doesn't want to. She has no interest. But she has to get married. It's like has to, enforced. The Sultan's advisor, Jafar, he uses a snake, a big staff shaped like a snake, right? And you know the symbolism of the snake, I'm sure, to hypnotize people and make them do things against their will, including hypnotizing a girl to marry him against her will. So this is normalizing that is okay to do. And it's not addressed seriously. It's kind of looked over. He is a murderer. He literally kills people. He also tortures people. And now he hypnotizes women to marry him. And the implication of that is she will have to have his kid, which means she will have to have sex with him against her will. Now, I know that might seem like a bit of a stretch if you're just watching it innocently as a kid. But when you're watching this as an adult, we are normalizing abuse. We're normalizing so many twisted things. As you watch Aladdin, there's loads of symbolism and imagery of all sorts of things you just wouldn't show your kid if you know what is there. Lion King. Let's talk about The Lion King. One of my favorite movies. When I thought about this week, I was so upset. What's The Lion King about? It's about a little lion whose dad raises him, and then his greedy uncle, jealous uncle, kills his dad, murders him, and gets away with it. And is then, after killing his dad, it's normalized. It's like it's okay. That is okay to do. That is an acceptable option. He also then has these hyenas, and he abuses them. He's cruel to them. He calls them stupid. He says that they're mindless because they're different. Right? They're not a lion, so they're different. So we're normalizing that these hyenas are stupid because they're different. This is the messaging. But in The Lion King, the word sex, as in sex, is written so many times. So many times. Go and check it out. Watch it back. Look for how often the word sex appears. There's also boobs. There's naked women. It is actually insane. And so then I was just speaking with a friend today about what other messages are there. So I'd love for you to really think about your favorite Disney movie and comment below. Let me know, especially the classic ones. What is the theme? What do we have? We have witches making women sleep, right? So Sleeping Beauty has to sleep until a random man kisses her that's never met. She doesn't consent. We also have actual witches in most or a lot of the movies, right? Very dark. Think about The Little Mermaid, the Ursula character, very dark, very twisted. We're putting this into our child's minds that this evil is there, that people want to kill you, that people want to take over, that people want to abuse you, that there are these villains, and they're almost likable. That's the weird thing about it. Now, there are other claims of things happening inside Disney. One of their high up people was recently arrested and convicted for being a pedophile. And the real kicker for me was when I saw this post about Mickey Mouse. I saw it yesterday. When you take the word Mickey in the way that they write it and you reflect it upside down, it says the word wicked. So Mickey, reflected upside down, says the word wicked. And then you look at the symbolism behind Mickey Mouse, and in one of the first cartoons, Mickey Mouse opens up a Masonic group. It's like a Masonic youth group. He opens it up in the cartoon.
Few know that Walt was actually working undercover for the FBI, reporting on suspected communist activities and anything else suspicious in Hollywood at the time. In 1954, Walt was promoted to Special Agent in Charge, which means other agents actually reported to him. Might Walt have also participated in the MKUltra project that was going on at the same time, involving Hollywood stars such as Marilyn Monroe? While we can't know for certain, Walt seems to have been the type who would have been allowed into the CIA's inner circle. He is widely believed by alternative researchers to have been a Freemason. Some even claim of the 33rd degree. Walt was a member of Demolay, which is a youth feeder program into the Masons, and he created an exclusive club at Disneyland called Club 33, whose membership list reads like a who's who of the Hollywood elite. In her book,
You can't make this stuff up. And if you see the early pictures of what Mickey looked like and what the Mickey costumes were, very, very twisted. Now, is everybody who works in Disney bad news? I don't think so. But you have to know that this stuff is happening, right? This can't happen without permission to intentionally implant these things in our children's minds. And we trust them. We trust them because they're a big brand, because they're a known name, and so we let them do it. Really pay attention to what your young people watch and listen to. What are the themes in those stories? And now you might be saying, yeah, but Luke, you're just taking all the fun out of this. Right? You're taking things too literally. But how does our subconscious mind take things? Our subconscious mind takes things very literally. Have a look how often in the Disney movies they make these hand signals. So you see this is, if you don't know what this signal is, you can look this up. This is an occult signal. Look how often in the Disney movies they make this symbol, like this, or like this, all the time. Why would the animators do that? Why would the animators put the word sex in Disney movies hundreds of times? Why would the animators draw actual penises, actual boobs, actual naked people in there? They think it's funny? Maybe. Something deeper? Maybe.